Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Certainly 6 cases is concerning because over the last few years, we would have an average of 0 to 1 case in a year.
A warning tonight for parents. A rare and potentially deadly condition is on the rise in Minnesota, and it primarily affects children.
Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall talks to health officials about the threat and how to protect your family.
Since September 20th, Minnesota has seen a spike in cases of acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. The condition affects the spinal cord, causing muscle weakness and slow reflexes.
It's a sudden onset of muscle weakness in the arms or legs. So it's not just being tired. It's actually that all of a sudden their arms or legs aren't working. You can also have neck weakness, drooping eyelids, facial droop, any of those muscle weakness kinds of situations.
6 cases in children less than 10 years old have been confirmed, triggering the Department of Health to issue an advisory. All of the children have been hospitalized and 2 are in intensive care for respiratory support. There is no specific treatment for AFM, leading to a range of consequences, some deadly.
There have been deaths. Some individuals continue to have that ongoing neurologic problem, that weakness, and then some people recover. So it's kind of a whole wide range. Parents obviously need to be aware of that, and if that should happen, they need to seek health care.
To protect your loved ones, doctors say you should follow general guidelines to prevent illness, like washing your hands, covering your cough, staying home when you're sick, and avoiding mosquito bites. Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Part of the problem with AFM is that doctors don't know how it spreads. Sometimes it follows respiratory illnesses or viruses. Other times it's blamed on genetics or environmental factors. And while AFM typically affects children, it can develop in adults as well. Doctors say while the conditions are serious, it's also typically very rare as well.
The fall colors sure are beautiful when they're not covered by snow. This is an aerial view from northern Minnesota by Superior National Forest. Around here, the rain and snow are finally moving out, albeit a little slower up in the Northern Valley. Robert, how's it looking overnight?
Yeah, that rain and snow finally gets on out of here. Could still see some drizzle and mist, maybe a few flurries as we head through the wee hours of your Saturday morning. Right now, temperatures ranging from the low 30s to the northwest to the low 40s off towards the southeast, right at freezing in Grand Forks, Cavalier, and in the Langdon area. Winds are generally light out of the north and northwest, around 5 to 15 miles per hour, and they'll stay around 5 to 15 miles per hour, 5 to 10 miles per hour as we head through tomorrow morning. Already seeing some fog develop, visibility down to 1.25 miles up in the Langdon area, 2.5 miles in Detroit Lakes. A lot of cloud cover. We're going to stay with the clouds overnight tonight. Underneath those clouds, not a whole lot of precipitation left, and what we do have left, again, exiting as we head through the overnight hours. A dry day Saturday, but a lot more rain and snow to talk about on that 7-day forecast, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Robert.
With the first flakes of the year reported in parts of the valley, it's time for towns and cities to get their snow plows ready for action. Lee Anderson with the city of Fargo says the first week of October is not ideal to be talking about the S word. Even though it's early, it's a good reminder for people to start thinking ahead. Anderson says it's important to share the road with plows, stay back about 50 feet, and never pass a plow truck. He doesn't expect road construction that's underway right now to cause any problems for plows, saying most projects should be finishing up within the next 4 to 5 weeks, as long as the weather cooperates.
Police made quick work of an 18-wheeler fire in West Fargo this evening. The semi was ablaze at 680 7th Avenue Northeast. That's near Glenn's Body Repair. Authorities say the tractor-trailer was doing a drop-off and there was a short in the battery compartment, and it sparked enough to melt a fuel line, and the fuel line started pumping onto the spark, resulting in a small fire. Police officers got to the scene first and used their fire extinguisher to put it out. One of the drivers was being looked at by FM ambulance after breathing in a lot of smoke.
Police are looking for 3 people suspected of shooting a man in Grand Forks. Officers were called to the 1100 block of 5th Avenue North around 11 last night after several 911 calls about gunfire in the area. They found a man who says he was confronted by 3 men in a silver Nissan, and that one of the passengers pointed a gun out the window and fired a round in his direction. The victim took off running and says the men started chasing him on foot. The suspects were gone, however, when police arrived. Anyone with information on this case can contact Grand Forks Police.
We now know the name of the Detroit Lakes bicyclist who was killed in a crash with a pickup. Investigators say 39-year-old Daniel Cermak crossed Highway 10 against a red light in Wadena around 11 last night and hit a pickup broadside. The driver of the pickup and a passenger were not injured.
In Becker County, authorities want people to keep an eye out for anything that may lead to the whereabouts of a missing Island Lake girl. Today marks 4 years since Melissa Dawn Eagleshield was reported missing from home about 15 miles northeast of Detroit Lakes. Eagleshield was last seen wearing South Park pajama pants and a black t-shirt. If you have any information, call the Sheriff's Office. The phone number is right there on your screen now, 218-847-2661.
Next month, North Dakotans will have the chance to vote on Measure 3, the initiative to legalize recreational marijuana and expunge nonviolent pot convictions. And as the vote draws nearer, the debate heats up. We spoke with those for and against the measure. One of the issues those against legalizing are worried about is the fact that there's no limitation to how much pot someone of legal age can possess or grow. But we're told lawmakers will be able to tweak the measure if it's passed.
They will have to tweak this bill, and supporters of Measure 3 are looking forward to working with the legislature in order to make the appropriate tweaks to this bill.
What I've been telling people that ask me, I think you just need to say to yourself, as a North Dakotan, do you believe we should be able to smoke and use recreational marijuana? That's the question.
Meanwhile, those against Measure 3 say there may not be enough support in the House and Senate to make necessary changes once the measure is passed.
The U.S. Senate is expected to vote tomorrow afternoon on Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. 2 key senators have announced that they will support his confirmation. Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine says she will vote yes on the confirmation. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia announced he too would vote in favor. Their support signals that Kavanaugh is likely to be confirmed despite allegations of sexual misconduct against him. Tune in to valleynewslive.com and Valley News Live at 6 tomorrow for updates on the vote for Brett Kavanaugh.
A group of kids were bathed with in-gifts this afternoon at the Youth Works in Fargo. After the Golden Drive event last weekend and with the help of the community, $4,000 was raised to help the homeless in our community. The money raised today is all part of a goal to start conversations about the issue of kids experiencing homelessness.
And so for us to be able to present not only clothing and food and supplies, but also things like birthday bags is a really wonderful addition to the services that we can provide to youth in Fargo.
Both Golden Drive and Youth Works plan to keep helping people in the community who are less fortunate.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, a town in Minnesota is dealing with a problem of public intoxication, but it's not people who are the issue.
Rain and snow finally exits as we head through the overnight hours tomorrow. Thankfully, finally a dry day, but the dry conditions don't last very long. We'll have your forecast details, including a look at that 7-day forecast right after this.